How to give constructive criticism. So it's funny that I see that sometimes where someone would try to defend, some ignorant or trolling comments. Like somebody will say that my deck profile is trash or something. It's like, all right, fine. You're entitled to your opinion, right? Not to share it, but you're entitled to have it. So you'll have people say, and I've seen this like 3 times so far. Somebody talking about constructive criticism, like that I don't take constructive criticism. Thing is, no one gives me constructive criticism. So waiting for constructive criticism. You know what's not constructive criticism? Saying that my deck profile is giving cancer. It's funny, but it's not constructive criticism. There's no problem and solution in that sentence. If anything, it just sounds like a personal health problem. That's looking at a deck profile gives you cancer, right? So if the jokes aside, according to Google, if you know how to use it, right, it will tell you that constructive criticism, is a helpful way of giving feedback to provide specific, listen to those words, specific, actionable suggestions, rather than providing just general advice or an opinion, right? The idea is to positively improve whatever you're criticizing. That's why it's called constructive criticism, not deconstructive criticism or trolling or, disrespect, which typically will be something that I get from somebody. And the funny thing is, the person who will disrespect me, right, say something disrespectful, is usually comes from them seeing other people say something. Like if other people are saying that my decks are bad, again, that's their opinion, but not a fact. They have been proven it. But no one cares about proof, right? Receipts, as they say. Even though I have 45 videos of me playing the game, people still don't care. It's about opinions. It's not about facts. I got facts. I got receipts, right? I got proof that my decks are good. Whether you believe I'm good at the game or not, that's irrelevant. Most of y'all ain't good at the game anyway. Yet y'all the ones with that so-called constructive criticism, right? That's the irony of that. But realistically, it doesn't matter if I'm good at the game or not. It has nothing to do with you. It doesn't affect. But the thing is, I will like constructive criticism, but no one gives me any. All people want to do, the ones who have said anything, because most people don't even say anything, right? The only time I see comments typically is somebody just typing the word trash, and that's it, and just leave it at that. No explanation, no details of what they were referring to. Because they could be referring to the audio being trash of my video, or the video quality, like it's not 1080p or something, or 4K, or they just don't like the layout that I use for my deck profiles. Like this layout. They don't like this. They'd rather me use Sharon's layer or something. I think Sharon's layer is gone. For some reason, I don't think it's on the internet anymore. Anyway, point is, they'll have certain opinions, which either is formulated, right, or influenced by, things they randomly see on Facebook groups, in the community, as it were, or it's just their own personal opinion. They probably saw one video and then just judge me, even though they don't know me. They judge me based off of it, which is weird, right? To judge somebody based off of a video, even though the video is about a deck. So the deck should be the main focus of the situation, not the person who's talking about the deck. But some people will try to come, attack me personally, trying to insult me, aka disrespect. And then when I, address it, block them, delete their comments and stuff, their disrespect. Then you got other people wanting to defend them, wanting to be like, oh, they were giving you constructive criticism. No, that's not what constructive criticism is. That was just disrespect. They disrespected me. They didn't give anything constructive at all. They weren't trying to fix something. Right? They weren't trying to make something better. They just wanted to bitch and complain about something. That's just ignorance. So, the proper way you do constructive criticism, I've done this before, constructive criticism, where I notice a problem with somebody's strategy that could be improved upon so that way they can achieve the outcome that they want, their goal, and give the suggestions to help them out. Just like when I see, the people in the community, complaining about, like hand destruction or something, then I'll make a video about, how to deal with it from my experience, like how I would deal with it. That's constructive criticism right there, right? That's being helpful. That's being useful. That's the thing about constructive criticism, is that it's supposed to be helpful. It's supposed to solve a problem for somebody. It's supposed to be giving somebody solutions to a problem that you see, if you see a problem that maybe they don't see. But there's the understanding that if the person doesn't receive the constructive criticism, as in, like they point out that, like, I'm aware of that, you're telling me something I already know, so that's not important. Then it's like, okay, well, at least the person knows, right? But some people get unhappy with the idea of, being told that, their criticism wasn't needed, wasn't necessary, because they want to feel important, right? They want to feel like they were doing something, but not realize they were actually doing nothing. Because that comes from assuming something. Like, for example, there's people who assume that I don't know what a super combo is. As a joke, that's funny, right? To say that I don't know what a super combo is, as if I've never seen super combos before in the game. The thing about super combos is that that's a keyword. It's not a card type, it's a keyword. It's a word that's on a battle card. So I've seen battle cards. I've seen battle cards with keywords. Super combo is just one of those keywords. It's not something special. It's not a separate card type. And it's definitely not a mandatory thing. Like when you build a deck, you gotta have a leader. Can't play the game without a leader. So that's mandatory. You need a 60 card deck. Well, between a maximum of 60, minimum 50, right? Minimum 50 card decks, maximum 60. That's mandatory, right? In order to play the game. But other than that, you can do whatever you want. Super combos just says you can't put multiple super combos in your deck, like no more than 4. Like only maximum 4, and that's it. It's just a restriction. It's the same thing as the keyword ultimate. You can only have one ultimate in a deck, and that's it. But it doesn't mean you have to have an ultimate. You can play the game without ultimates. You can play the game without super combos. I'm not telling you to do that, to not play super combos and not play ultimates. Do whatever you want. Your deck, your choice, right? Just like my deck's my choice. So if I choose not to play super combos, that's on me. So back to constructive criticism. I like constructive criticism, but no one gives them. Right? The idea of constructive criticism is that you know something that someone else doesn't know, and you're sharing it. Like, for example, since you played the same deck that someone else played, you might have figured out some good tech cards to make the deck better. You might have figured out how to make the deck, faster or more consistent, and then you want to share that knowledge with someone else. But saying trash does not translate a solution to a problem. It doesn't translate that, hey, you know how to make the deck better, therefore the term trash is a solution to make the deck better. It's like, no, it's the total opposite. It's just ignorant disrespect. Saying trash as if, like, what is that supposed to mean? That's implying that, my decks are just like a random assortment of like one-ofs that I found in the trash, or belong in the trash just because they don't have any useful playability. But that's not how that works. Now you can say I'm trash. I'm totally fine with you saying I'm trash, because again, it's obviously an opinion, and it's like, I don't care. I don't need you to think that I'm, good or bad at the game. That's irrelevant. Doesn't matter to me. But to be like thinking that saying trash equals constructive criticism. It's like, no, I can't tolerate that level of stupidity. It's like, no, that's not constructive criticism. That's just stupidity. I don't tolerate stupidity. So stupidity will be blocked. Now, the first thing I would do typically I'll just, delete the comment because I don't want it to encourage more idiots to see that and then follow suit, right? Be like, oh, if this person says the deck is trash, then I'm gonna say it too. It's like, follow the leader, I say, right? You're following an idiot. Okay, that's how that works. So since I don't want more idiots trying to copy off of first idiot, I'll delete the comment. But if the person proceeds to keep saying trash, right, or just anything similar to it, just spamming, right, as they say, then it's like, okay, this person just wants to keep doing this over and over again, and this is not constructive. This is not helpful, right? This is just ignorance. This is just somebody has nothing better to do with their lives. Therefore, I will block them so they can go back to their lives, stop wasting their life commenting trash or anything similar to that on my content, right? My posts, because I don't care what they think. The problem is that other people would care what they think and think that what someone's saying, especially something that's stupid, is valid. It's a valid statement. It's just sad to see people following people who are dumber than they are. So, again, constructive criticism is a helpful way of giving feedback, specific feedback, way of letting things know. Like some people, before, told me that, because originally I was using this app, right, where, I wish I could show it here, but there's this app on my phone. I still have the app, it's just I don't use it to do the deck profiles, obviously. But there was an app on my phone where, I scroll and I click on the picture of the card and talk about it and just scroll. And people didn't like that. They didn't like that view, like that layout, right? So then I went out of my way to make a program myself where I can display the cards in a way that you can just look at the whole entire deck and be like, oh, okay, this deck is trash. Like how most people like to do, right? And I can just run through the deck, see the quantities, I can write them down here, just go through the deck. It's like, all right, this is what this does, this is what this does, right? And then just go through the list and be able to showcase my deck. Again, my deck, not somebody else's deck that they topped an event with, not somebody else's deck that I neck deck because I'm not a net decker. My deck. This is what I created. This is what I play, and this is what I like. Whether you like it or not, that don't matter. That's irrelevant. That's a personal thing that has nothing to do with me or my content. So that's another thing. Content. The term content is used a lot. Some people are confused. They think that I'm creating content. It's like, nah. I use the word content because a lot of people use it. It's a common term on the internet, but it's like, no. My videos aren't content. Like my deck profiles aren't content. Because that implies that I'm making it for the people who are watching it. It's like, no. My deck profiles is just, these are my decks, and I'm showing the world my decks. And if you care, that's awesome. If you don't care, also awesome. I don't care either way. It's not going to change the fact that this is what I like and this is what I play. This is how I play the game. I've seen other people's deck profiles. I've seen other people play on Untap and stuff like that and see what they play and they build and stuff like that. And there'll be times where I'll be like, yeah, I wouldn't play those cards or that deck. And it's like, because we're all different in different ways. So it's like, all right, that's cool. If it works for them, and I always encourage people like, hey, if it works for you, go for it. I don't tell people not to do something, right? Other than don't be stupid and don't be ignorant. See, but other than that, it's like do what you want. Because it'd be hypocritical for me to tell you that I'm gonna do what I want, but then tell you not to do what you, right? It's like I gotta be not hypocritical, right? I gotta be consistent. So consistent is that I do things a certain way, but doesn't mean you have to do it the same way too. If you want to copy out from me, that's fine. That is something that happens in the community is people copying off of other people. But to each their own. Makes me wonder, is it even a curiosity? Because it's funny, I recently went on tap. As you can see, I'm CardGamesTV1. Turns out there's a CardGamesTV on here. So it's that way. I don't know how to find people, but let me see. Okay, I know this. Let's see. Not too new, but I mean, like, I just found out about this feature right here. Like, oh, okay, I could just look to watch people play. Oh, this is a familiar name. Just recently saw that name on Facebook. Let me show up. Ding! See if something happens. I just recently saw this name. Oh, there it is. Somebody recognizes me. No problem, just as you can see, some people are aware of who I am. Alright, time to go. I gotta go to sleep. I got work to do, but I would like to know who these people are. Be cool. Like to make friends, but I have haters apparently. And I have people who are fans. Like to make friends, but that's not always going to be the case because there's just some people who just love to hate. Oh well. So like I said, man, constructive criticism. I would like constructive criticism. But the thing is, I don't get that. The idea of constructive criticism is supposed to be, it's supposed to help me, right? If you're quote unquote actually giving me constructive criticism, it's supposed to help me achieve the goal that I want. And if the goal that I want is, to OTK somebody with 30k skills battle cards, and you have a faster way of doing it, tell me, and that will be constructive criticism. That will help improve upon what I'm already doing. But if your quote-unquote constructive criticism is telling me to do the opposite, it's like, stop doing what you're doing and do what everybody else does, that's constructive criticism. Like, oh, that's not. It's not constructive criticism. That's not helpful or useful, especially not to me, because I'm not going to do what everybody else does. I'm going to say, that implies that everybody else knows what they're doing. That's not always the case. It implies that other people are better at what I do. That is also not the case. Everybody's different. Everybody does things differently. But I am really good at what I do, and it works for me. If it doesn't work for you, then that's a you problem. That's you lacking something. So give yourself constructive criticism and improve yourself. Get good. As they say, right? Get good, scrub. That's a you problem, not me. I have nothing to do with what you do in the game. Whether you do play super combos or not, that's up to you. Whether you're good at the game or not, that's up to you. Whether you win with my decks or not, that's up to you. It's up to you. But other than that, it's irrelevant. What works for me, works for me. If it doesn't work for you, then duh. It was meant for me anyway. Hey, it works for me, works for me. As the term goes, different strokes for different folks, right? So what works for me, works for me. What works for you, works for you. So do what works for you. And on another note is the blatant disrespect of bringing up Joey Palladino for Crossbow TCG. as a form of insult against me, using him as an example of what I should be doing, or how I should be, even though we're two separate people. He does what he does, and I do what I do, and we're supposed to do different things. He's supposed to do what he does, right? Promoting, meta decks and promoting, products. Whenever there's news about new stuff coming out, he's supposed to promote that stuff, right? Because that's the information, right? He gives you the news as a word, right? What I give you is outside the box thinking, right? I give you I give you an insight to how I play, right? My deck profiles, most of my videos, they're just basically vlogs. For those who don't know what vlogs are, right? Those are video blogs, basically. I'm just letting you know what I'm doing. That's it. They're essentially behind the scenes, right? When I show you my decks, it's essentially behind the scenes, right? Like, here's a Hatchiac deck that I'm going to be play testing tonight. Trying to tweak it out, trying to make sure that it's balanced, because it is a unique concept, right? You literally have just extra cards and battle cards, and I call it extra unison. So that's a concept, extra unison, just extra cards and unisons. I'm using Hatchiac as the leader, and I'm trying to figure out, the ratio and the balance for making the deck, work. And yes, no super combos, obviously, because super combos are battle cards. They're not their own card type, they're battle cards, so of course they're not going to be in here. And then, there's no battle cards. All we have in this deck is unisons and extra cards. The only card types in the main deck is that, and of course the leader. So let's see if this works, right? See if this, has some viability. So definitely leaning towards this style of playing. So don't be surprised if you see future deck profiles of me using this strategy of just extra cards and unisons. But it could, it'll be mixed, because I would like to use the 4-star ball along with Goku Adventure Begins, so I can use Goku Adventure Begins to get the 4-star ball. And if I want to, I could use Super Combo, right? So those be like the only battle cards like I'll try to tech in, but still have a lot of unisons, a lot of extra cards, because those are the card types that I like to use, and I get a lot of use out of them. I literally made a deck profile, well, not deck profile, gameplay. I literally made a deck where it was just all unisons, and I played it, and I did pretty good with it, considering the fact that, it was a all unison deck, which is not the way I would want to play, just because of the restrictions of only one unison at a time. So, but the fact that this leader restricts my opponent already, I could take advantage of that restriction and, be able to play just one unison per turn and, do some stuff. But also have extra cards, so that way I could play unison, but also still play an extra card, right? Still do more, because you could play multiple extra cards in a turn, but it's hard, not impossible, but hard to play multiple unisons a turn, unless the unisons are like 1-drops and 2-drops. So hopefully they make more, 1-drop and 2-drop unisons that are like, really good, right? Where I could replace some of these. Like, imagine a 2-drop dual attack, right? Probably be a 15k, but you get the idea. So that way I can replace this one, because this is the only, within this color scheme, it's the only 20k dual attacker, right? But it costs 3. It would be nice if it costs 2, because that means on turn 4 I could play 2 of them, right? I could play one, swing with it twice, then send it to drop, play another one, and swing with that one twice, and get 4 attacks off of 2 unisons, right? So that'd be kind of cool. So that's like the way I would want to be able to play these cards. So yeah, that'll be the end of this video. Again, constructive criticism. You want to give me some? It has to be in the spirit, right? It has to be to help me get the result that I want. So if you're giving so-called constructive criticism on a deck profile, like a burn deck profile or something like that, then it has to be about achieving that goal, which is to like burn. Like if you can come up with a better, faster build, of that deck, then that's constructive criticism. But it's not constructive criticism. Looking at a deck where I'm like, this deck can do 24 damage on turn 3, isn't that amazing? And somebody be like, oh, this deck's trash. Like, yeah, that doesn't tell me anything. And then what's trash? The way the deck looks, or the idea of the deck? The idea of the deck is to do 24 damage on turn 3, and that sounds awesome, not trash. But okay, to each their own, I guess. I guess dealing 24 damage on turn 3 equals trash. But no other deck does that, therefore doing less damage equals good, doing more damage equals trash, I guess? Oh well, I'll see you in another video.